so I feel like I'm echoing. How long do we have? 10 minutes? Okay, great. I'll be fast. It did something weird to the fonts when I brought it over to the PC, but that just shows why you should always use a Mac. But I had to bring this in here. So I am been 11 years in crypto. I'll do my bio in a second, but this new fund I'm building is focused completely on AI, and it's focused on AI infrastructure. I think that the crypto AI thing, which I think there's a side event every day this week, maybe more than one. There are no crypto side events at AI conferences, something to watch out for. But there are AI side events at every one of these things. I think crypto AI is just one subset of a new wave of infrastructure that's going to come in and change the way AI is built. These are the fastest growing applications we've seen in history, I believe. I think that's still correct. And are already generating revenue, which is kind of unusual for very fast emerging technologies. But they're super expensive. And this is adding to the NVIDIA's market cap and all the excitement around AI. I'm not going to pitch the fund too much, but this is the fund I'm building. We already raised 10 million. We're targeting another 50. If anyone here wants to LP, let me know. I am allowed to say this. I'm a registered investor. This is what I did in the past. Helped to build out Pantera Capital back in 2013. And then built out co-founded a decentralized VPN called Orchid, which started in 2017. We launched in 2019. I worked with Fabric Ventures, the venture partner, and then just recently started Nazare. Back in '97, I did my PhD in AI. We didn't call it AI back then, but it was neural networks. This is a bit about orchids. I'm not going to do too much about this. We'll jump into the AI stuff. So there's a very long slide deck. So this is what I did at Pantera, Fabric. My good friend Richard runs the team. So we're looking at AI infrastructure. So one of our investments we'll talk about in a second is a deep in without crypto. So these guys don't incentivize the network, but they have applications. Most deep ins, sorry about anybody who's deep in, have no applications. There's no demand right now. There's lots of supply. And what they're doing is boosting the value of these companies, these nodes, by incentivizing the nodes. And it's a great idea. It's a great way to create supply. But what we need is demand. So I think that the other thing you notice, as I said, is that there are no crypto side events at AI conferences because most people on Hacker News think that we're crazy. They think that we are scam artists. I've been in this in 11 years, and I'm not a scam artist, honestly. But I believe that there's a lot of applications to this technology. But currently, we do not have a fit with the AI community. So that either means we need to build our own kind of version of AI infrastructure and build our own applications, or we've got to find some ways to connect. Connecting is usually a bit easier. Listed a whole bunch of ideas that we're playing around with right now. So we're not just looking at crypto ideas, we're also looking at, for example, trying to rewrite the way training algorithm works. We're looking for applications and companies in this space. We only do very early stage. Like I said, it kind of messed up with my fonts here. This is our first investment. I don't think we've announced this yet, but this is just recently completed. So these guys are building a very fast version of ZK that allows you to prove whether or not a particular neural network was executed, which is really important because in blockchain and crypto we tend to think that everything's trustless compute and so on, but you actually can't trust whether something was executed or not. You need to have some kind of proof mechanism. I did some work in ZK. I was one of the first investors in Zcash, and then Risk Zero, and then recently Nebra. Also managed to be an angel check into Prime Intellect that's focusing on decentralized training versus inference. These are a couple of deals that I did in the last couple of years. Squid. So I've done like lots of sort of interesting things in crypto, but some of these are just advising the way we're looking at AI. So with AI, I kind of look at it in a few different ways. You got this kind of decentralized compute problem. And currently, all the training algorithms, don't let anyone tell you the difference, but all the training algorithms are centralized. They're going to work on big InfiniBand connected clusters. But they don't have to be. And some people are working on other ideas of how you could do decentralized training. one way to look at what AI is that AI is currently a compute stack, a data stack, and like a chip stack that was sort of crystallized in the mid-2010s, which is when the transformer architecture and all these applications started to really become useful. And it's really stayed the same. But there are lots of different ways that you could disrupt that stack. And as I was saying, like make AI cheap again. Is this echoing a lot? Where's the speaker? No, it's not over here. This is a great quote by Peter Thiel. It's actually hard to think through from first principles how you're going to decentralize these things from scratch. So you got to get creative. One of the really interesting ideas that's happening right now is open source AI. You may have seen in my bio before, I sold a company to Sun Microsystems just at the tail end of the .com. And what we would do in that company, eventually we built out storage systems for data centers, but using commodity hardware and open source software, which is the complete opposite of Sun's business model. And so I'm not going to say NVIDIA is the next Sun Microsystems, but there are similarities. So you've got like commodity hardware, you've got like very specific proprietary hardware, very specific proprietary software stacks. Open source AI is really like leading the charge of the way that this could be disrupted. So open source AI plus commodity hardware, I think, will be part of the new stack for AI. We talked a little bit about decentralized compute, and again, verifiable compute. Tommy's a friend of mine, but I'm coming for him on this one. The guys at IONet for a while, sorry if anyone from IONet in the audience, they didn't know whether the nodes were real or not. So they kind of kept saying they had hundreds of thousands, hundreds of thousands, but actually it was people just trying to mine the incentive reward structure. Training super hard, as I said, but it's people are working on, there's the guys at Noose Research, Prime Intellect, Jensen. Again, I think zero knowledge is going to be incredibly important through this thing, and probably have one of the biggest applications outside of scaling blockchains. Deepin I talked about a little bit, kind of skeptical. I think it's a great way to build up supply, but I would rather see it used in a situation where there's already applications being used, and it's a way to then increase supply. So if you're out there building a Deepin, I'd go find an application. I mean, Helium did this a little bit, right? They sort of had an application, started things working, and then built out supply, and now they're doing well. This is an area that's not looked at very much, which is how do you generate more data? How do you generate more interesting data? Someone told me some stat that I think it's like JP Morgan has 50 times the amount of data internally that's not publicly available than was used to train ChatGPT. This is another area where you kind of like, we're looking for these synthetic data, but there's actually a huge amount of data like hiding behind things. If there were ways to expose that data without actually exposing it, so like ways to kind of communicate that data or use it in training without exposing it, that would be a good way to do it. There's some of my favorite ones, which is not obviously new AI infrastructure, but one way of looking at the agentic economy, I think, is if you think of OpenAI, the big kind of foundation models, they're essentially like single agents, so like one agent to rule them all. But what's more interesting and also potentially more scalable is the idea of using multiple agents, these sort of multiple agent cooperative systems. We don't have to use crypto to coordinate these things and do that kind of frameworks and have them paid and so on. But it'll probably be easier if that stack is used. But it may or may not get used. So there's kind of like I think this is one of the most interesting so-called intersections. This multi-agent cooperative systems is a big area of development in San Francisco with all the startups focusing on agents there. And we actually have technology that works on that stuff. So I think if you're looking at investment or startup opportunities, I'd look very carefully there. Don't get me started on public AI coins. This whole thing is basically a mimetic experiment, and I'm very excited that it's happening. But currently, I don't play, and I'm also not playing in the liquid markets very much. This is a bit of a summary. I'm going to wrap it up, and then if anyone has any questions, I'll finish my lightning talk. Thanks so much for sticking around. There's also a lot of challenges. There's like, does anyone care? Like, everyone talks about AI being better if we decentralize it and it's better for the world, but no one cares about better for the world. Look at Instagram. Like, it's still doing great. No one's sitting there going, oh my God, they've still got my data, I'm going to cry, I'm not going to use Instagram. I just use it, it's great. It sends me really cool ads and I buy things. And I work for a company focused on privacy. So no one cares whether your stuff's decentralized. You've got to find a business case for it, and you've got to laser into that. And crypto creates some very interesting ways to create new supply and build up like lots of interest and participants, but we also have to find applications. And I believe the AI space has the potential to take crypto outside of the very successful, kind of DeFi related, I think everyone's here, right, in Singapore. Our whole community's here. But like, it's a small group of people where we built a very, very successful alternative financial system. We have the potential to take those systems and apply them to other environments. That's it. Oh, this is another fan, sorry. That's me. Thanks. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. I'm more happy that despite the fact that there was agenda mismatch on student side, we managed to track you down and to get you here. So anyone who has questions about investment, about applications in the AI space, please also come talk to Cecil. And we are gonna end our event today at 3 p.m. Tomorrow we're back here. If you want more insights into AI, tomorrow we only have Hero and Active Team here. We're going to be here for 4 hours, 10 to 2 p.m. and everyone is welcome to come try out our product, use the demo, sign up, and come and chat and interact with our team. So looking forward to see you tomorrow as well if you like this one. Thank you, and have a successful token week from now on.